Hello everyone. This is a two-part DIY for making your own transaction registers. It shows you real-world example of why you learn decimals, addition and subtraction, and graphing. Here we go. The register is less than 6 inches long, but contains 10 columns of varying widths. Each row of transactions is only 1/4 inch high. This can be hard for the average person to see, so let's make a larger version for ourselves to learn how to use this, and maybe leave out some of these 10 columns. Example 1, arts and crafts time. Make a physical paper copy. You'll need a piece of paper, a ruler, a pencil, a Sharpie or a marker, and 2 different colors of highlighters, hopefully one green and one either red or orange. What's important for columns? The date, transaction description, the amount of money that you spent, another column for deposit, the total amount. So we need of equal proportion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see if we can make that. A standard 8 by 11 inch paper, we're going to go 8 by 11, and 8 inches divided by 6 columns is 1 1/3 inches per column. So let's start here with our first, and I like to mark it on both sides of the ruler because then we can flip the ruler and draw a straight line all the way down and be perfect all throughout. It'll always be 1 1/3 inches. So let's do that in its entirety. Not so fast, guys. Remember, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories, but if you remember our notes from earlier, we only have the date, the description, and the 3 sets of money. So in actuality, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why did I say 6? Because the description is 2. So if you're using a pencil like I have, you're going to skip and just mark that 1 1/3 and then mark again 1 1/3 to the third part and then draw your line. After you finished all 1, 2, 3, 4 of your lines, you are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections to write in. And then go over your pencil lines with a Sharpie because you're going to be wanting to use something lighter for writing in your ledger, and you want to make sure you know where your lines are. Now that we have our vertical lines, we want to make our horizontal lines. We're going to have to decide how many categories we want or how many transactions per page. The easiest thing for me to do, especially if you write in a very wide font, is using the size of your ruler. It's already perfectly level, and all you have to do is move it onto your paper, trace the line up the top of your ruler with your line, and trace the bottom again, and you will be perfect all the way down. In this, the only time you are going to be using your Sharpie again is for that very top line, so that the bottom lines are light all the way down, just like you couldn't see in the ledger already made. After you've made your top line and you know you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories, you can now write on the top line what each of your categories stands for. So I'm going to write date, description, payments. This is going to be our deposit, and this is going to be our total. Now, I wrote total at the top of the line because in here, from the previous, you're going to want to write your current balance. To make this more of a visual stimulus, you might want to take a green highlighter and highlight the deposit as a positive. And then you might also want to take a red, a pink, or an orange highlighter and highlight your payment to know that that's something that you have lost. And now your homemade deposit ledger is ready to be used. The machines have taken over, but it's okay. Microsoft Office Excel is making your life a lot easier and can do the mathematics that a brain might not be willing to after a long day of work and buying things. So make sure you've got Microsoft Office Excel or another such program on your computer, tablet, phone, etc. This is Microsoft Office Excel, and I have zoomed in a total of 150% so that everything appears bigger and you can see things a little more clearly. Let's go back to the home setting where you have all of your toolbars so I can explain this a little bit further. This one is entitled Book 1, though when you save the document, which you should save at the beginning of everything, you should title it whatever you choose. On the bottom, you'll see a selection for Sheet 1, Sheet 2, Sheet 3, and you know what? You can create a Sheet 4 just by clicking this little icon that looks like a sticky note with the right-hand corner positioned up and a red circle with lines coming out like a sun in the upper left-hand corner. But all we need is Sheet 1 because all the numbers on the left-hand side going down are infinite, and all the letters on the top going across are infinite. Once the alphabet goes from A to Z, it continues with double A all the way down. This first block, rectangle, what have you, is entitled A1. Like in playing chess, each block has its own title based on the x-axis and the y-axis. So this is A1, B1, C1, or A2, B2, C2, and so on. So let's start and use this program for our spreadsheet today, and that will be our transaction register. Let's start on A1, and let's title it Date. We're going to use this for all of our dates, and click Enter. Now, you can change this to however big you choose just by going on top and resizing, increasing, and you can see how big it gets. I'm already at 20 size font. I think that's perfect for you to see what I'm typing. And what's really great about putting dates in at Microsoft Excel is, let's say I'm going to use the date of February 1st, 2/1. When I hit enter, it shows it as the European way of telling time, the 1st of February. Column B. Again, we want to keep the size as a 20 font so that everyone can see things a little better. And this is going to be our description of what we have purchased. And we click enter. You might see that if you click on C and you want to start typing here, it kind of writes over so you can't see B. That's easily fixed. Go to the space between B and C, and you see that little cursor change. It has a line with 2 arrows, one pointing to C and one pointing to B. Double left click, and now you can see all of description in one big section. Now let's go to C and delete that gibberish we typed in. Again, we want size 20 so you can see what I'm about to type. This is going to be our payment section. If you want, feel free, click on C. D, this should be our deposit. Oh no, did I forget to change the size? That's alright. Left click, drag it to the left, move over to the top, arrow down, and select 20. You can spread it out and go to E. And on E, we have the total. And what I like to do for total, keep it all in caps so you know that's all there is, bub. Alright, let's say you want to be creative like me. You can take your payment and turn it into a red. Boom. All I did was go up to the little A with the red line under it, click the down arrow, and select the color that I wanted, and click on it. Let's do the same for deposit, but we don't want red here, we want green. Click down, find the green you like, and left click. You know what? There's something even better about Microsoft Excel. It doesn't need a payment and a deposit. We can change this into one category. So go ahead, erase payment, erase deposit. Let's move our total over, copy it, and paste it, and erase it. C is now going to be called transactions. And this is only going to be for the amounts. So let's turn it back into black. And again, we can't see everything, so expand. I'll explain how to use this in my next video when I explain how to use a register. But for now, this is our finished product. A1 says that A is going to be our dates. B1 says that B is going to be our descriptions. C1 says that C is going to be our transactions. And D1 says that D is going to be our total. Please look at my next video and find out how to use this.